Dumb boss always telling me what to do. Go here, go there, do that.
What did you say? I'll get you.
Ah, no! Ah!
Ah, you mess with us. You mess with all of us. Wah! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Fast. I'm old Big Mek, and sometimes I am also a Runtherder. And let me tell you, when they team up, they can do lots of damage. Anyways, let's get into it. Today's video is all about Grots. Gretchin, the little wee ones. Yeah, so backstory. When I first started playing Orks, I didn't like Grots. I thought they were really dumb, right? They're strength 2, toughness 2, tiny little things, huge noses, ugly, dumb, right? They weren't big, tough boys, right? They weren't going to survive close combat. They weren't going to do anything. And so I really didn't like them. And then the more I read the stuff in the codexes, especially the first edition, or, second edition codex, this one right here, which, yes, this is not an original. This is a hardbound version that if you want to know how to order, you got to join our Patreon so that I can DM you there, because obviously this is the kind of thing that is a little on the gray area. But yeah, it's super nice and faithful reproduction. But yeah, there's a link down in the description below to join our Patreon, and then shoot me a DM, and just free level. Just join at 3 levels, totally fine. But shoot me a DM so I can send you the link on how to order this printing. Totally legal and above board. We just, you know how Games Workshop can be. But anyways, I digress. You start reading some of the lore in here, and it's so funny, and it's so ironic, and so much of Orc society runs not because the Orcs believe it runs, but because these little guys make it run. And yeah, they're really cool. And anyways, lately, right, we've gotten the Red Gobbo and the novels that have come out of that, like Gobbo's Revenge and Gobbo's Demise, were both really, really, really good books that kind of brought you into the mind of what a little baby greenskin does. And yeah, they've just gotten super cool. But the other thing is, the models are actually excellent. Let's go take a look at them.
I mean, just look at these little greebly guys. Aren't they just fun, right? He's got a little stick bomb and he's pointing like he's going to go and do something. But, he's half the height of a guardsman. I love how modular the kit is, too, and how different they look. So these are both the same body, right? They've got the outstretched arm with the same revolver pistol and the same choppa. And all you do is switch the head, but it totally gives them a different vibe, right? I mean, it helps that I painted them different skin colors, too. But, you've got eye patch, baseball cap guy on one side, and you've got, face mask guy on the other side. Here's another example of just the head swap being enough to really change their character. And once again, at first, I wasn't a fan of things like this, like the doofy one, right? Like, he's got this helmet on sideways and this kind of dumb-looking grin. But then you really think about it, and you're like, yeah, actually, that totally fits with Warhammer 40K and Orks and Gretchin. My favorites, though, are the ones that have a little bit of power. Like this guy here, he's got 1 armor plate, which is 1 more than everybody else. And yeah, with his little sword and his little goggles there, he thinks he's like the de facto leader of the gobbos. This guy's going to be the next red gobbo. And it's not just the ones in the regular Gretchin kit. You get so many fun ones like with the Big Meks, right? Like this little welder grot, right? He's got the gas squig, right? With the little hose going to his welder so he can work on the stampas and stuff. It's just so much fun. And then you've got this little guy with the kind of come here attitude, and yes, you should totally get 2 of these and convert the other one's fingers, because that's also highly appropriate. And then you got your ammo runts, right? You got, of course, classic dragging the box of ammo and the stick bomb guy here. And then we saw this one earlier this week from the special edition kit. Nickit, I think, is his name. You can see the bullets are actually coming out of his bag. And then this guy is fun. I use him with my Beast Boss because he just kind of looks a little Beast Snaggy-ish. He's from Underworlds, actually, which has some fantastic grots in it. And in fact, he came with this one. Now, the original one, and again, I believe this is an Underworld set, has a just a regular axe, right? Big wooden axe, and very old school looking. I'm like, I need to make sure that this looks good in 40K, and I tried a bunch of different weapons, and the one that really stuck was the chainsaw. I mean, come on, chainsaw choppa is so iconic. And I put these guys down and notice the bottom one's wearing red so that he runs faster. And then the top one is wearing blue so that he could be lucky with his strikes. So this is my Distraction Grot, and I absolutely love it. It's my favorite Grot in the whole game so far. Well, other than Dered Gobbo on Bounce. I mean, how can you not love Dered Gobbo on Bounce? I also love that one. And in fact, not only do I love it, so does one of my Grots who painted this one. This is her version of Dered Gobbo on Bounce. So she went with purple instead of red. And then I actually really like how she did the cloak in brown. And then everything else in the purple. I thought that was actually like a really cool way of doing it. So that is her Dered Gobbo on Bounce.
And it's so many more than those two. All of the new vehicles, the little buggies and stuff, come with Grots too, right? The one on the back of the custom booster blast is just hanging on for dear life and taking pot shots with his little Grot pistol out the back. The scrapjet, the Megatrack scrapjet, has a little turret in the back, like in the back of a B-17, right? And he's like, the little Grot is in there with two little shooters shooting out of the back of the turret. Yeah, and then, the Wrecker Truck Squig Buggy has a ton of them all over it and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool and fun to see all the different Grots and where they put them in the kits. I really like the ones that come with the Stompa and the Morkanaut Gorkanaut. Yeah, so I've grown from like really not liking Grots to loving them. And of course, they're kind of the easiest thing to convert when you're doing armies. Orc players, for some reason, have a pretty high incidence of their second army being Guard. But a lot of times it's Grot Guard, right? Like, it's for the Revolution, and you've got all these Grot heads on Cadians because it's hilarious, and then you can still be all orky with it, and yeah, it's super, super fun. So super liking the Grots. I'll put some links in the description if I can find that Underworld set. It's a really good set, even though you're just going to use a couple of Grots from it. It's got this great big giant dude with a crossbow, I think, that's pretty cool. And then, yeah. Anyways, I'll put some links for all sorts of different cool Grot kits down in the description below. And those Grot tanks. So last week we did the video on the little Grot tanks. I had found them for $10. You monsters went and actually completely bought out Amazon. So I had to find them again. I found another vendor at $13 for the right ones. And I've talked about this in a couple of videos now since then, because you want to make sure you're ordering the right ones. The ones that are 24 pack are actually smaller. They're like Hot Wheels size. You can't use them. Don't use those. So yeah, I'll put links down in the description for all of those things. But yeah, and then that's more progress as well for Orktober. I now have my first complete Grot squad that's just supposed to be a Grot squad with a little Runtherder, all done and painted and based and ready to go. So I've added that to the pile. And yeah, ready to get started on the next thing. So you'll figure out what that is tomorrow. And until then, log on!